So we're going to move from chicken to steak.
Yes.
Okay. So Randy, you're going to make salt and pepper steak with cheese curd, scalloped potato.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Cheese curd with anything sounds good to me.
Just take it off the cheese curd.
Oh.
And apparently these two can't either because this was like there's two of these before we started.
Leave some
and
for
they
the
just keep
recipe,
disappearing,
would
right?
ya?
Yeah.
So let's look at the grocery list
check it out.
for this one.
Yep.
So you see all the items you need to buy to make this recipe work, and the grand total is $10 per person.
On the nose, 10 bones.
Okay,
There
so
we
this
go.
is good. This is much cheaper than going to a restaurant. You're at home, you're making that steak last, and you're gonna make sure everybody gets a good meal.
The theory behind it is the steakhouses want you to order like the 20-ounce prime rib, right? And they're going to charge you $75 because it's delicious.
Right.
And they should, because it is that delicious.
Okay.
But if you do that same size at home, maybe a little bigger, like a 25-ounce, it's about the portion size. You only need 4 or 5 ounces.
Right.
At least
You don't
I
need
do.
the whole thing.
I don't want to roll off the dining room table and be like, go over to the couch, right? I might have to do some things. At least my wife wants me to do some things after dinner,
Right.
like take out the garbage and stuff like that.
Stuff like that.
Yeah, so I have to be able to move. So it's about portion control. So we're going to start this sucker up. But in the meantime, I've got like the two chefs over here banging out my mise en place, which is great.
Yeah.
Massimo's going to make a cucumber salad in like 3 minutes. Jason's going to make me the scalloped potatoes with the
Nice.
fresh cheese curd. And what we're going to do is simply salt and pepper.
How many ounces is this?
This is 25 ounces.
You want more pepper?
I want lots of pepper. You have to be aggressive with your steaks because
no
this
problem.
is a dry aged steak.
Yeah.
Now you might see the dry aging at Loblaws and other stores. Everyone's
good.
kind of going towards it. And why it's a little bit more expensive is because when they dry age it for like 3 or 4 weeks, the moisture content comes out, which means they're
Okay.
losing about 30%, so they have to charge 40% more. Simple math, people. Simple math, right? So what that does is it amplifies the flavor, it fortifies the flavor, but at the same time the enzymes are breaking down, so it makes it more tender. You're getting a more powerful steak.
That's some serious science right
Isn't
there.
that serious science?
Okay.
Ask your friendly butcher, and the best advice I can give you is talk to your butcher.
Yeah.
Because there might be single A, double A, triple, prime kind of in that area, but there's a wide variety in between. So if you get a butcher to hand pick your steak, you'll see this one's just covered in marbling, because I asked my guy and I said, hey, this is going to be on City Line. It's got to be top shelf.
Yeah. Lots of fat,
So
lots
there you
of
go.
flavor.
Get them to hand pick that thing. Hot pan, sear it down. We go 4 minutes on this side, and then we're going to flip it over 4 minutes into the oven for about 8. Let it rest. Good as gold.
Okay.
Now, don't email me and say that was wrong, because sometimes the steak sizes are different.
Right.
A little bit thinner, it's going to take a little less time, a little bit thicker, a little bit more time. But basically,
Almost like they're from nature and they're not perfectly formed. You know, like, I
don't know what's involved.
Why did you give me the wrong
These cows aren't cooperating.
You don't
I
cooperate at all.
know. It's true. It's a feel and touch thing. You got to watch and make sure that you're going according to the size you have. It
Feel and
only
touch.
makes sense.
And if all else fails and you don't know how to feel or touch, practice on your way. Get a thermometer.
Practice till you get it right.
Put a thermometer in and you're looking at about 120 and then let it rest. So
Okay.
Massimo, check this out. You did this in exactly 2 minutes.
Holy moly,
Cucumbers,
that's good.
right? Radish, lime juice, olive oil, salt, pepper, touch of mint. Wow, it'll
And that's
blow your
it.
mind.
Absolutely.
It's simple and it's good. Look at that. You've got
Yeah, a
good
little
flavor
bit
there.
more
What'd you
over it.
use for the vinaigrette?
It's so
What is it?
refreshing. Lime juice.
Lime juice.
And
That's all
just
you need.
maybe add a little bit of olive oil just
And then
for the heck of it.
On top,
Yeah.
Massimo, maybe give
Don't
me
even need to.
give me a little rasp of the lime zest on top, and that'll just give it a little bit more
Here you
bang
go.
for your buck.
Nice.
We got a more.
All right.
So Randy's going to sit back and watch as everyone else does the work.
This is kind of what goes on, you know. It's kind of
That's
nice.
how it goes.
It doesn't work very well.
No.
It's all right.
That's good enough.
Okay.
Can we
All
talk
right.
about the scalloped potatoes now
Scalloped
for a second?
potatoes.
So what did Jason do over there?
So Jason's cutting them, and this is another time you can practice your
thin.
knife skills, right?
Yeah.
Now you can put it through a mandolin, but when you have Jason kicking around, you don't need a mandolin.
Just call me, I'll cut them.
Just give it a nice thin slice. Jason loves his shallots, so we're gonna put shallots in there.
Yeah, a little bit of slots over top.
Work away. Layer it with the cheese curds.
Oh, just a few cheese curds, right?
Oh
just a
my
few cheese
gosh.
curds.
So there's some underneath, there's some on top. He's using them
But
all.
the beautiful thing about the cheese curd, and I don't know why, is when you bake it into the scalloped potato, it stays whole. So you're eating these layers of potatoes, and then this nugget of
You get it,
cheese
like,
comes across,
chunks.
and it's like this salty, like, what happened, right?
So good.
Okay,
It hasn't been
I think
stretched.
this baby is almost ready to turn. Let's take a quick look.
Oh, look at that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
And that's what we're looking.
beautiful.
So we want to sear that salt and pepper into there, and we're not going to do any other seasoning because we want to keep that dry aged flavor coming through.
Okay.
So we chuck that into the oven for like 6 or 7 minutes. minutes.
Yeah.
Jason,
Yep.
give me a little bit of chicken stock in here, salt, pepper, and cream.
Oui, chef.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
So the chicken stock is basically going to be the moisture that cooks the potatoes through.
Yeah.
The cream is going to give it the body because you can't have scalloped potatoes without cream.
Right.
Obviously. Onions and the poutine, a little bit of salt and pepper.
Okay.
Now, important story.
Yeah.
What you want to do is you want to wrap this because you really want that chicken stock to evaporate and kind of like steam the potatoes at the same time. And then the starch from the potatoes will tighten up and make a nice little layering effect.
So what do you mean you're going to wrap it?
Wrap it with foil.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I thought we were going to put a bow on it. Or...
We could do that too. I would
Some
for the dinner
wrapping
table
paper.
for sure.
On the corner.
I know.
But the secret is you only want to go about an inch or two high because that'll be the quick scalloped potato. Everyone thinks it takes 2 hours.
Yeah.
Honestly, 40 minutes, you're good to go. 30 minutes wrapped, unwrap it, and golden it up. Okay, here
want
we
it?
go.
So
Let's see what we got.
it's
Very hot,
done.
very
We
hot.
wrapped
You wanna
it.
get
Very hot. Very hot.
How's it look? Oh my goodness, like heaven.
Put it on the board.
Keep it right, keep it right there so we can get a shot of that.
Isn't that beautiful?
Little piece of
Put
heaven.
that on the board. And then, Massimo,
Oh
you
my
want to
God.
pass me down, hopefully, my perfectly cooked steak.
Okay, here it is. Oh, sorry.
Steak's in his pocket.
I was going to make friends with it.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so then we have this.
That's just yummy.
Here we go.
We got to slice it and dice
Now,
it
and
so
you're
everybody
thinking
gets
that's
some.
not that big of a steak for 4 people, but you carve it down, right?
Right.
Check this out. What is going on?
My mouth is watering.
Oh,
That is nice.
And I find the ribeye is the perfect cut for my family because my wife really likes the tender and lean part in the middle, and I
Yeah.
like the outer fat part.
Yeah.
And then if you get the tomahawk with the bone on it like this, even the dogs are happy because they have something that they can nibble on when they're done, right?
You bet the whole family.
I got
even
everyone
the
happy.
pet.
So we're gonna put
Everyone's
this up
excited.
Here.
Okay.
Here we go.
So I want to do a whole segment just on your serving, your cutting boards. They're gorgeous, Randy.
Brilliant.
There we go.
That
And
is
that's
so
how I would take this to the
beautiful.
table. I would just come out and I'd kind of feel like that barbarian cool guy. I'd be like,
Yes.
drop it down and like
Eat.
throw some
Look.
cutlery down and a bottle of wine.
Does that not look more than $10 per person?
That looks amazing.
looks
That
awesome.
looks
Come to my
amazing.
restaurant, I'll charge you $120.
Make it at home. Cityline.ca for the recipe. Let's go to break. More